Welcome students, I am Ravi Shankar. See, today in this video we are going to study about the exercise problems. I will be reading the problems and then the solution alone is being worked on this board. So in order to follow, you take your book in your hand and while I am reading the problem, you just follow them. Come on. In page number 76, the problem number 1 under the topic exercises. See, when two objects are rubbed with each other, approximately a charge of 50 nanocoulomb can be produced in each object. Calculate the number of electrons that must be transferred to produce this charge. So when two objects are rubbed with each other, the charge that was being developed in each of the object is considered to be 50 nanocoulomb. So I am writing 50 nanocoulomb. Converted to standard unit, you will be getting 50 into 10 to the power of minus 9 coulomb. Calculate the number of electrons available. So you are asked to calculate the number of electrons that must be transferred to produce this charge. So in order to calculate the number of electronic charges or number of electrons, let us consider the charge of one electron. Charge of one electron, it is represented as E, which is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. See how you can able to get N. We know according to quantization of electrical charges, according to the quantization of electrical charges, we got the formula as Q equal to N into E, where N is the number of electrons, E is the charge of an electron, and Q is the total charge available. Therefore, the number of electrons available, N is equal to Q divided by E. What is the value of Q? The value of Q is 50 into 10 to the power of minus 9 coulomb divided by E. We can write it out as 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. So how you can simplify? You can write like this: 50 divided by 1.6 into, cancelling, you can able to write it out as into 10 to the power of 10. Or we can simplify this and write the answer as 31.25 into 10 to the power of 10 electrons. So still you can write like this: the number of electrons available is 3.125 into 10 to the power of 11 electrons. This is how you can able to get the answer. So the answer is N equal to 3.125 into 10 to the power of what? 10 to the power of 11 electrons. Okay. Now let us consider the second problem. What is the problem number 2? The total number of electrons in a human body is typically in the order of 10 power 28. Suppose due to some reason you and your friend lost 1% of this number of electrons. Calculate the electrostatic force between you and your friend separated by a distance of 1 meter. Then compare this with your weight. Assume mass of each person is 60 kilogram and use point charge approximation. See what it is given? The total number of electrons in the human body. So let us consider the data. It was given the total number of electrons in the human body. So the total number of electrons in the human body is equal to 10 power 28. Suppose due to some reason you and your friend lost 1% of the electron. So last amount of electrons. What is the last amount of electrons? The last amount of electron is given as 1%. If it is equal to 1%, then I can write it out as 1 divided by 100. So last number of electrons is 1% of 10 power 28. So 1 divided by 100 into 10 to the power of 28, that is equal to 10 power 26 electrons. If 10 power 26 electrons is removed from a body means, then the body will be acquiring the 10 power 26 into E amount of charges. So the charge acquired by the two bodies, charges acquired by you and by your friend, So the charge acquired will be the number of electrons that it is losing multiplied with the charge of one electron in terms of coulomb. So I am considering the charges Q1 on one of the body and the Q2 on the other body. That is, one is you and another one is your friend. The amount of charges that was being developed due to the losing of electrons is 10 to the power of 26 E coulombs. Let us consider this as equation number 1. What it is asked? See, the distance of separation between you and your friend is equal to 1 meter. If that is the case, you are asked to calculate what is the electrostatic force of repulsion, or what is the electrostatic force available in between you and your friend. That was the question asked. See, we know that the electrostatic force between the two bodies is given by the formula 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q1 into Q2 divided by R square. On substituting, instead of 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, I can write 9 into 10 to the power of 9 into Q1 is 10 power 26 E multiplied with 10 power 26 E whole divided by, I can write it out as 1 square or 1, which can be written as 9 into 10 power 26 plus 10 power 26 is 10 power 52. 10 power 52 plus 9, it is 10 power 61 multiplied with E into E. Then you can able to get E square divided by 1 Newton. So now let us simplify. What is the value of Fe then? I can write 9 into 10 to the power of 61 multiplied with 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 into 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19. See, I can get the answer Fe equal to 9 into 1.6 into 1.6 is 2.56 multiplied with, here it is 10 power 61 multiplied with 10 power minus 38. So on simplifying, you multiply this 9 with this 2.56, 9 into 6, you will be getting 54, remaining 5, 45 plus 5, you will be getting 50, then 0.9 into 2, 18, 18 plus 5 is 23 into 10 to the power of, see, 61 minus 38. What is that value of 61 minus 38? You will be able to get it out as 23. So the force that is acting on it is equal to, or electrostatic force between you and your friend is equal to 23.04 into 10 to the power of 23 Newton. This is the force, that electrostatic force or the Coulomb force experienced between you and your friend when you both are losing 1% of electron. This is the first question asked. So let us consider this as the subdivision A. What is the subdivision B asked? See, again go through the problem. Compare this with your weight. Assume mass of each person is 60 kilogram. So mass of the person given as 60 kilogram, and you have to calculate the weight of the body. Weight of the body, W equal to M into G. So M we can consider it as 60 and G you consider it as 9.8, or you can write 6 into 98, which is equal to 588 Newton. You are asked to compare. So what is the comparison? You just make a division, that is Fe divided by W is equal to 23.04 multiplied with 10 to the power of 23 divided by 588. So on simplification, you can write Fe is equal to, so on simplification, you get the value of W. So what is the value here? If you want, you can simplify this and write it out. So you do it by yourself. You just divide these two and write the answer. So take this W to the other side. This we are calling it out as the comparison between what? Between electrostatic force and the weight of the person. Hope you should have understood this. So let us go to the third problem. What is the problem number 3? See, 5 identical charges Q are placed equidistant on a semicircle as shown in the figure. What is that figure? See, they have considered a semicircle. In this semicircle, along this horizontal line representing the x-axis, and the vertical line drawn represent what? They represent the y-axis. See, when you are considering the semicircle, the radius is considered to be r. It was given 5 identical charges Q are placed equidistant on the semicircle. So 5 identical charges. So let us consider one of the charge Q here, one of the charge Q here, another charge Q here, 3 charges, 2 more. In between these two, you are having another charge Q here, and in between these two, you are having a charge here as Q. Now, what else given? Another point charge small q is kept at the center of the circle of radius r. See, if you are considering this as a circle, let this be the center O. On this center point O, you are having another charge considered to be small q. And the question asked is, calculate the electrostatic force experienced by the charge at this position Q. So at this position O, you are asked to calculate the electrostatic force. So how to calculate this? So let us consider this diagram. When you are taking this diagram, the charge small q at this point O is experiencing 5 forces on it. See, let us take the positions like this. See, one of the charge considered to be at A, the second charge considered to be at B, third charge C, position of the fourth charge take it as D, and position of the fifth charge you consider it as E. Now, the point O on which the charge small q is placed is experiencing 5 charges or 5 forces. How you can say? Due to the charge q at A, a force will be experienced on this small charge q. Already, while Coulomb's law is studied, it was stated that the force between the 2 point charges are acting along the line joining the 2 charges, and repulsive if both are of same nature, and attractive if both are of opposite nature. Here this Q and this Q are of same nature. So the force in between these two is acting along what? The force between these two is acting along this line joining the charges capital Q and small q, and it is acting away from the charge. Let us consider that force as F1. Similarly, when you are considering the force acting on O due to the charge at B, the force is acting along the line joining the two charges and acting away. So let us consider that force is F2. If you are considering the third charge Q at C, the electrical force that is acting at O is along this line joining, and let us consider that force as F3. When you are taking the fourth charge which is placed at the position D is experiencing a force on the point O where the small charge Q is placed, and the force is acting along this direction, and let us represent it as F4. And due to the charge Q at E, the force experienced on the small q at O is acting along the line joining and acting in this direction. Let us consider that as F5. So we can say on the charge small q placed at the center of the circle, 5 forces are acting according to, we have studied superposition principle. So we know that according to the superposition principle, we can say that the net force on small q at O equal to vector sum of, we have studied vector sum of individual forces. So let us consider the net force as F net. So F net vector is equal to vector sum of the individual forces. So I can write F1 vector plus F2 vector plus F3 vector plus F4 vector plus F5 vector. So the vector sum of all these forces will be giving you the net force. Now you look at the diagram. You are having 5 forces, isn't it? How you can able to say the electrostatic force? We know that the electrostatic force is given by the formula 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q1 into Q2 divided by R square. Here Q1 is equal to capital Q in all cases and Q2 is equal to small q in all cases, and the distance is considered to be the radius. Therefore, we can write F1 is equal to F2 is equal to F3 is equal to F4 is equal to F5. That is the magnitude of all the forces acting on the charge small q are equal, which is equal to, I can substitute and write 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into q into capital Q divided by capital R square. Let us consider this as F, because this F is equal to F1 plus F2 plus F3 plus F4 plus F5. Magnitude of all the forces are considered to be same. Now you look at the diagram. See, from diagram, or I can say from figure, you see F1 and F5. You consider F1 and F5. Both are acting at O. This magnitude of F1 and magnitude of F5 are equal, but they are acting along the same line in opposite side direction. So they will cancel each other. So from figure, it is clear that F1 and F5, which are equal in magnitude, and opposite in direction, cancel each other. So in this formula, if F1 and F5 get cancelled, then what is the value of F net? Then I can write, therefore F net vector is equal to F2 vector plus F3 vector plus F4 vector. Now, how to simplify this? This is a vector addition. So how to simplify this? I am drawing that diagram again. See, at this point O, one of the forces acting along the x-axis considered to be F3. Another force acting along this direction, and let us consider this as F4. And another one called to be F2, which is acting in what direction? Acting in this direction. So, with reference to the x-axis, F4 and F2 are inclined at an angle theta. Both are equal because the charges are placed at equidistances. If that is the case, what is the value of theta? Value of theta is equal to 45 degrees. How you can say that it is 45 degrees? You look at the original diagram. You see, when you are considering the angle between these two as 90. So when you are considering this, since it is at the center in between, center of these two charges, the angle considered here with reference to x-axis or with the vertical is equal to 45 each. So I am considering this angle theta as 45. Now, how to get the resultant using this? In order to get the resultant of these three vectors, first of all, I am considering this force F4. When I am considering this force F4, which is inclined at an angle theta to the x-axis, this resultant force F4 can be resolved into two components. One along the horizontal, one of the force along the horizontal, and another force considered to be vertical. That is, F4 is resolved into two perpendicular components. One along the horizontal, parallel to x-axis or along the x-axis, and another one perpendicular to it. What is this horizontal component and what is the vertical component? See, the horizontal component is the adjacent side of theta. So I am writing it as F4 cos theta. This vertical component, instead of drawing here, I can draw it here, opposite to that of theta. So I can write this as F4 sin theta. So F4 can be resolved into two perpendicular components. One is F4 cos theta along the horizontal and F4 sin theta along the vertical. See, similarly, I can consider F2. See, when you are taking F2 with reference to the x-axis, it is inclined at an angle theta. So F2 can also be resolved into two perpendicular components, one along the horizontal and another one along the vertical. Let us consider the horizontal component along the x-axis and the vertical component perpendicular to it. So the horizontal component is adjacent to theta. So I am writing it as F2 cos theta. And the vertical component can be considered here, which is opposite. So we can say F2 sin theta. Now take this resolved vectors and substitute in this diagram. See, I am using some other color. I am taking this. See, when you are taking this F4 can be resolved into two components, one along horizontal and another one along vertical. This vertical component is F4 sin theta, and this horizontal component we can write it out as F4 cos theta. Similarly, I am separating what? Similarly, I am separating this F2 and drawing here. One is considered to be the vertical component, another one is considered to be the horizontal component. The vertical component is F2 sine theta and the horizontal component is F2 cos theta. Now look at the diagram again. When you are looking at the diagram again, F4 sin theta and F2 sin theta are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. Because F4 and F2 are equal in magnitude, theta is same, both are having the sine function. So I can write here, I can write F2 sin theta and F4 sin theta. F2 sin theta and F4 sin theta are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. Equal in magnitude and opposite in what? And I am saying it as opposite in direction. Since they are equal in magnitude and opposite in direction, they cancel each other. They cancel each other. So if you are considering like this F2 sin theta and F4 sin theta will get cancelled. What is the resultant then? See, at the point O, you are having F3 acting in the direction along the x-axis. Then F2 also acting in the same direction. And we can consider there is F2 cos theta acting in that direction. F2 cos theta acting in the same direction and F4 cos theta acting in the same direction. Isn't it? So on point O, where you are having the small charge Q, on that charge, you are having F3, F2 cos theta and F4 cos theta acting along the same line. So with this, I can able to calculate the net force. What is the net force then? I can say F net is equal to, I can write if it is F net vector, then I am writing it as F3 vector plus F4 cos theta vector, or I can write, if this is the magnitude, I can write like this. See, if I can take, instead of taking this as F3 vector, I am taking the magnitude alone. See, F net is equal to, I can write F3 plus F4 cos theta plus F2 cos theta. If I am taking the direction, I can say they are acting along what direction? Acting along x-axis, I can write. See, now you substitute and get the answers. You have to simplify hereafter, which is equal to, what is F3? 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into capital Q into small q divided by r square plus, what is F4? 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 capital Q into small q divided by r square into cos theta plus, what is F2 cos theta? The same value, 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 capital Q small q divided by r square into another cos theta. Now you simplify. You can take a common 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 capital Q into small q divided by r square. Taking these factor as common, you will be getting 1 plus here 1 cos theta and here another cos theta. So I can say it out as 2 cos theta. But we have already stated that theta equal to 45 degrees. Since theta is equal to 45 degrees, I can write cos theta is equal to 1 divided by root 2. Take this value and substitute here. I can write F net is equal to, I am writing the magnitude alone initially, 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 capital Q into small q divided by r square into 1 plus 2 into cos theta is 1 by root 2. So I am writing it as 1 by root 2. So simplify. By simplifying, what is the answer that you can able to get? See, when you are simplifying, I can write F net is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into capital Q into small q divided by r square into 1 plus this 2 and root 2 get cancelled to give an root 2. So F net is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 q into q divided by r square into 1 plus root 2. This is the magnitude of what? This gives you the magnitude of the net force. If you are considering the direction is said to be along x-axis. So how I can write this as F net vector? So F net vector is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into capital Q into small q divided by r square. And since it is acting along x-axis, I am multiplying it with I cap. And the answer is in terms of Newton. This is the answer for the question number 3. And very important problem. So first of all, you try to work it out by following my process. See, each and every line, you write it in your notebook following me. Once you write it by knowing the concepts, then you again write it without seeing your notebook, you can able to understand. Okay, if you are having any doubt, very well, you can call me or ask me. Let us go for the next problem, problem number 4. Suppose a charge plus q on Earth's surface and another charge plus q is placed on the surface of the moon. Calculate the value of q required to balance the gravitational attraction between Earth and moon. And the second question, suppose the distance between the moon and Earth is halved. Would the charge q change? See, let us have a small diagram. See, what are the given things? This, let us consider this as the surface of Earth. See, they have given the mass of Earth. The mass of Earth is given as 5.9 into 10 to the power of 24 kilogram. Then they have considered the moon. When you are taking the moon and when you are taking the mass of the moon is given as 7.9. Okay, 7.9 into 10 power 22 kilogram. And the distance, they are separated by a large distance. The distance is not given. Let us consider that a distance as r. What the problem is given? You are asked to calculate the charge q, which is one of the charges placed on the moon and another positive charge placed on the surface of the Earth. You are asked to calculate the magnitude of that charge if the electrostatic force or if the gravitational pull or the universal law, according to the universal law of gravitation, the gravitational attraction between Earth and the moon can be balanced. See, very simple, we can say in between the two masses we are having the gravitational force F of g. According to universal law of gravitation, this F of g is g into mass of the Earth, then mass of the moon divided by square of this distance. This should be balanced now. How it can be balanced? Here you are having a charge. Similarly, in the other end also you are having a charge. So in between these two, you are having an electrostatic repulsion. So what is electrostatic repulsive force acting? We can write it out as 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q1 is Q and the Q2 is also Q divided by R square. See, the electrostatic force should balance the gravitational force. then only it is said to be in equilibrium. The question is given like that. Calculate the value of Q required to balance the gravitational attraction. So in order to balance the gravitational attraction, we should have another force which is equivalent opposite, which is considered to be the electrostatic force. So therefore, in order to balance, I am writing, in order to balance, what will be the answer? I can say f of g is equal to f of E. What is the value of f of g? F of g can be written as g into mass of earth into mass of moon whole divided by r square is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into q square divided by r square. In this r square and this r square will get cancelled. Substitute the values. What is g? G is 6.67 into 10 to the power of minus 11. Universal gravitational constant. Multiplied it with mass of earth. What is that mass of earth? Mass of earth is given to be 7.9 into 10 to the power of 24. Then mass of moon. Mass of moon is, you can consider it as, say, mass of, this is the mass of moon. Mass of earth is 5.9 into 10 to the power of 24 is equal to, what is 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0? It is 9 into 10 to the power of 9. Multiplied it with q square. So how to get q square? Q square is equal to 6.67 into 10 to the power of minus 11 into 7.9 into 10 to the power of 24 into 5.9 into 10 to the power of 24 whole divided by 9 into 10 to the power of 9. So I am writing the remaining here. How to get q then? We have to take the square root. So 6.67 into 5.9 into 7.9 into 10 to the power of, what is the value? Here 28, here you are having, see this 10 power 9 taken to the numerator, it is considered to be 10 to the power of minus 20. So here you will be getting what? Here 24. On subtracting you will get 4. Here another 24. So you will be getting it as 10 to the power of 28. Whole divided by what? Whole divided by 9. The whole power of what? The whole power of 1 by 2. That is square root. See, when you are simplifying, you can write q equal to 6.67 into 5.9 into 7.9 inside the square root divided by, taking square root for 9, you will be able to get 3. Multiplied with, when 10 power 28 is simplified, you will be able to get 10 power 14, the square root. Now you simplify and get the answer. By simplifying this, you can able to get what? You can able to get the answer. Simplify and get the answer in terms of Coulomb. It is your lookout. Yes, this is the first problem, or that is first subdivision in the fourth problem. What is the second one? The second subdivision asked, suppose the distance between the moon and earth is halved. Would the charge Q change? Never. See, subdivision 2. If the distance between earth and moon is halved, earth and moon is halved, then there won't be any change in the value of Q. There won't be any change in the value of Q. Why? In the value of Q. Why it is so? See, when you are making the balancing, in order to balance, we are equating the gravitational force with electrostatic force. When you are equating, both the distances are getting cancelled. So the charge that we are getting is independent of distance. So whatever may be the distance, the value of charge never changes. Hope you should have understood this. Let us go on to the next problem. The next problem is based on the concept that you have studied in your 11th standard. How to draw a free body diagram for the different situations that were being given in your book. Some 3 diagrams are being given. For the 3 diagrams, we have to draw what? For the 3 diagrams, we have to draw free body diagram. Let us see how you can able to get that free body diagrams. See, the first diagram that was being given is you are having a rigid support and an horizontal plane. In this, a spring is connected to the rigid support, and the other end of the spring is connected to what? Other end of the spring is connected to a block which is having a mass m. This block mass m is given with what? Is given with a charge q. And an electrical field is acting on this charged body in this direction. What is the free body diagram that we have to draw for this? Free body diagram we are drawing for the different forces acting on the mass. So in order to draw the free body diagram, let us consider this mass as an point mass. Now, when you are considering the mass, the acceleration due to gravity acting on the mass, pulling the mass in the downward direction. So the downward force or the gravitational force acting on the mass is vertically downwards. Then second one, when this mass is being pulled in the downward direction, the reaction force, otherwise called to be the normal force, is acting vertically up. So along the same line, you will be able to get the normal force N acting. Then, see, this block of mass M is having a charge plus Q. If it is having a charge plus Q, then we can say a force is experienced on this charge, and the force experienced is considered to be E into Q. The force experienced on the positively charged particle will act in the same direction as that of the electrical field. So on this mass, the force due to electrical field is acting towards the right side or along the positive x-axis. Now what will happen? This force EQ will pull the spring. When that EQ is pulling the spring, automatically and a restoring force will be developed inside the spring, called to be spring force or called to be restoring force in the opposite side direction. See, that is, the restoring force will try to restore the position of the mass. What is that restoring force? Let us write it out as Fs, which is equal to minus of k into x. We might have studied in your 11th standard as Fs is directly proportional to displacement directed towards the center. When you are removing the proportionality, we are introducing a constant, and that constant we are calling it out as force constant. So Fs is equal to minus of k into x. So this is the free body diagram for the first situation that was being given in your book. What is the second situation or the activity given? They have considered 2 conductors which are kept parallel to each other. In one of the conductor, the charges given are considered to be positive. In the other conductor, the charges given are taken to be negative. Now, in between the two, you are having a rigid support in which you are having a pendulum to be suspended vertically, but the pendulum is considered to be deflected by a small angle theta if the mass of the bob is having a charge plus Q. So, what is the free body diagram for this? I am taking this again. So you are having the mass here. See, from the rigid support, you are having the string. And the mass is pulled to the one side. then the tension will be acting on the string towards the origin. Then on this charge, or on this charge Q, the electrical field in between the two plates, the electrical field in between the two plates is sigma by epsilon 0, acting from positive charge to negative charge. What will happen? Acting on the positive charge will be in the same, so the force, it will be developing a force, and the force developed will be in the same direction as that of the electrical field. So in this direction, you can able to get the electrostatic force EQ. Then on this body of mass m, you will be having the gravitational pull in the downward direction. So these are the three forces identified to be acting on the simple bundle. So what is the free body diagram? If you want to draw the free body diagram, consider this mass as a point mass. Vertically downwards, the force acting is the gravitational force mg. Then the electric force acting on that charged body is along the direction of the electrical field. And when this string is pulled due to the forces, on that string, a tension will be developed, and the tension will be towards the rigid support or the origin or the point of suspension, and let us consider that tension as T. So this diagram represents, or this diagram represents the free body diagram for the second situation. Then let us consider the third one. What is the third one? See, the third one they are considering is, they have taken two parallel plates. Okay, let us consider the third one. Two parallel plates are being kept like this. One of the parallel plate is supplied with the positive charges, and another one is having a negative charge. So the electrical field is acting from positive charge to negative charge is taken to be E. Inside this, they have given a negative charge considered to be minus Q. What will happen? This negative charge will be experiencing a force. What is that force? It is considered to be E into Q. Since it is negative, it is minus. So since it is minus, the force acting on it is acting in a direction opposite to that of the electrical field. So this charge will be moving in the upward direction. If that is the case, what will be the diagram? Or how you can able to draw the free body diagram? The charge is considered to be the point mass. Initially, on this point mass, vertically down, you will be able to get the gravitational force mg acting. And this EQ, the force due to the electrical field, is acting towards the positive charge. So we can say it is acting in this direction. So this we are considering it as EQ. This EQ, I can consider it as minus pi. On the charge, negative charge, we are having the force as magnitude EQ, direction opposite to that of the electrical field. Hope you should have understood this. See, this concept you have studied it in your 11th standard. In order to draw the free body diagram, first of all, you have to identify what are the different forces that is acting on that body. Then after that, considering the body as a point mass, you have to draw. So we have completed some five problems. The remaining problems that we shall see it in our next video. Until then, thank you from Ravi Shankar.